What up, y'all?
Like on YouTube Live?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
YouTube, what up?
How many people are watching? Use your hands. 10, 20, only 10.
They're not used to us doing this.
I know. So that's the 10 people that are here.
Nobody's watching right now.
Wow.
Nobody's watching.
YouTube, what up? We gotta get into this puff stuff.
Yes, we're taking a different approach. Something very, very different. We are figuring things out in real time.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, just in real time.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was hyping it up.
I thought you was like, whoa,
Like,
you said a
whoa,
bad
you said
word.
mad weird.
We're live. No. What's going on, y'all? Welcome. YouTube. We are here on a Wednesday, actually. Just doing whatever we feel like doing.
What up, y'all?
Diddy is on the loose.
Oh, man. Topic conversation right now. And we have Eddin with us. Eddin, what up, baby?
I didn't know he was going to say Diddy on the loose.
Nah, Diddy's on.
That's a good title, actually.
Nah,
Yeah.
Diddy is on the loose.
Yeah.
See, this live thing is tripping me up because I was about to say something. I was like, oh, loose. All right.
We need to get SaVon a censor button just in case. Like,
Yeah, because my brain just goes to the most inappropriate things every time.
Yeah.
Like, my brain doesn't give me a break. It's not me. It's like, damn, bro, why would you think like that?
What the fuck, brain?
That's fine. But I think you could trust those 10 people, right? 20.
Nah.
No.
Hell
Oh, okay.
no.
Never mind. Sorry.
Nah,
guys.
definitely can't.
They clipping it. No. If I would have said what I was going to say, well.
You know who's in the tuck.
You know.
You know who's in the tuck. You know who's in the tuck. Okay, all right.
Guess what? Look at me. We can't edit.
You cannot edit.
I love this shit. Yeah. Alex over there, ass cheeks is clenched. Whoa. What's coming up next?
I don't know what's about to go.
No, let here. You steer the ship, good brother.
Oh, shit. All right, so what's up, y'all? So, shout out to the YouTube people. We're also recording this for people on YouTube and audio. And like SaVon said, we have some extra time and some things that we need to get to. We don't know the next time we're going to be in the studio, so rather hit it now with y'all. Now, as y'all both know, I said both. I'm looking at Eddin and SaVon. As all of you guys know, you've heard of the Puff news. Diddy was found not guilty of sex trafficking of Cassie and Jane Doe, but was found guilty on prostitution counts for both in the criminal trial. Now, I just wanted to read off some of these counts and we can get into the conversation of what's occurring at the current moment. Whoop-de-whoop. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm sorry.
No doubt. While you pull that up, I will say, this trial was highly anticipated before it started. We actually purposely didn't cover it in real time because there were so many different updates. I also wanted to be respectful of the entire process. And I know there was a lot of pockets for people to make jokes, and I had some jokes to be made.
Naturally.
But it was a serious situation. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I know we've been talking about Diddy as if he's not one of the pillars in freaking hip hop and culture for a long time.
Facts.
But I think it was important for us to just be responsible with, you know, the platform and the 10 people that's watching. Right? It's just 10 of y'all niggas in here. But it was important for us to just make sure we weren't inaccurately reporting.
Exactly.
You know? Especially shout out to like the Breakfast Club and academics. They was really in the trenches with the
Lauren
story.
too.
And Lauren,
Specifically. Lauren was the one.
Lauren, what up?
Shout out to Lauren.
Absolutely. Now, on the Diddy verdict, on count 1, racketeering, Diddy was found not guilty. Count 2, trafficking of Cassie, not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution related to Cassie, guilty. Count 4, trafficking of Jane Doe, not guilty. And finally, count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution related to Jane Doe was guilty.
Wow, that's a crazy 2 guilties.
Yeah, so the prostitution charges seem to be the only one that stuck. If we remember, the prosecution was trying to, I think, remove some charges a few days ago. If you guys remember that, I guess we could see why. Right? I guess they didn't feel too adamantly, too strongly about it.
Yeah, apparently the jury just didn't want to do that to him. But I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
No matter what was happening, and I honestly told the guys before we even started recording, just because I know it's a sensitive topic, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Do I think he got over with a slap on the wrist comparatively to all of his other charges? Absolutely. But Diddy's gonna Diddy.
Diddler.
He's the big diddler, right?
Yeah.
And I think how you said it earlier is very true, though.
Okay.
How did you say it? How did you say it? Diddy? No, you didn't say.
Oh, Diddy's on the loose.
Diddy's on the loose. Because it's kind of like, it is like he did tap into that Joker persona in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Of high crime. But it does make you wonder now, as a society, are we surprised that we're being failed again?
No.
Of not holding somebody accountable of such stature, no matter what happens. I don't care how much money you have. He is a pillar of the hip hop.
Yes.
That's without a doubt. But being guilty of your charges and knowing that now you're just free like that, it's like, it's insane.
See, it's a layered conversation because a lot of people are going to stand on what it is that they want to stand on, whether it be, hey, the legal system, the judicial system, it took its course and this is what it is. So I'm going to stand on this side of history, right? Like I see a few people, I think I saw Ray J celebrating and, you know, honoring, I think Boosie. There was a lot of people who were standing on that side because they're just speaking to the legalities of it. But for some people like myself, I don't forget the video I saw. Right. And so there's going to be multiple conversations when it comes to Diddy. It's going to be, hey, maybe he's not in prison, right? Maybe he's not in jail. Maybe he's a free man at some point. But there's still other things that said, bro, you were a piece of shit, right? Like, you deserve consequences to your actions. Now, it's not up to me to decide what your consequences are, but let's not forget, like, we did see a video of him kicking the shit out of a woman in a hotel lobby. And if that's what we could see, imagine all the things we couldn't see. So there's a lot of different touch points on here. I'm also curious to know who's going to be the first person to check him on nutting on nipples. Okay?
What?
Like, he didn't see all the jokes.
Ain't nobody checking him?
Nah, somebody will check him on that.
He's definitely seen the jokes.
He might check some people, though.
How you going to see jokes? Nobody. Like, he was locked up. Nobody.
They going to tell. You don't think Diddy got a phone in there?
Nah, man.
Puff got a Boost Mobile in there.
Sean Combs doesn't have a phone.
Wait, wasn't he talking to Kanye West at one point in jail?
Maybe.
I'm not sure. You might know more than me.
I'm sure he got his phone call.
He was like, yo, Playboy, you got to get back on stage.
That's what he was texting him?
Yeah, this is before the alleged tag team freak-off that they had.
Yeah,
alleged.
Wow, alleged.
Allegedly is everything is allegedly.
Right. Yeah, that's a fact. Nah, I don't know. I could see that. But the jury was the one, to your point, about we weren't in control of his fate. The jury was actually in control of his fate.
What a tough decision.
And I'm glad you said that. I think what they got so hell-bent on, and probably most people on social media as well who probably defend Puff, was the definition of sex trafficking, right? Like, did the prosecution properly showcase that these acts happened? Was it a criminal organization behind this on the RICO thing? So I just wanted to quickly review what sex trafficking is and maybe why the jury felt a little bit confused, right? Okay. By definition, sex trafficking is the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country or area to another for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Now, that can be a pretty hazy definition, especially if you're an entertainer. That's why it wasn't surprising for me, Eddin, to what you were saying earlier. I could see a lot of entertainers that were scared about this verdict. Yeah. And how this could turn out. Because I could see rappers, musicians, etc., who have probably done a lot of the same things that I just read within sex trafficking. They just never defined it as such, right? So that makes me wonder, like, okay, maybe the jury kind of felt the same way because they did find him guilty on prostitution. Prostitution is illegal, right? But I guess the wider conversation to be had here is how we view sex trafficking, and everyone is different.
I mean, shout out to his fucking lawyer, right? Yeah. To be able to switch that up so easily.
Brian Steele, what up?
There's a whole team of lawyers, though.
Yeah, a whole team.
Yeah, he had a couple.
That's where this plays so weirdly to me is no matter what you do in life, right? Let's say if you're running away from bills, running away from the law in any sense, it's huge on just technicality, right? Like on that technicality that it's not technically sex trafficking, but it is still making some sort of movement for prostitution.
Right. It's hazy.
That sounds so right there. Yeah. It's like, it's borderline, but then it makes me wonder if you were a juror there having to deal with all those technicalities with your own moral compass as well. Because we have to be honest. No matter who it is, it could be someone from down the block, it could be someone from across the country. Yeah. You're going to have a moral compass in how you really feel about this so strongly. It's a lot to choose from. Yeah. But I'm not going to hold y'all from day one of all this happening, from even, unfortunately, that video of Cassie, which, I mean, is only just probably a touch of everything that's happened to her and other people and Jane Doe and etc. I'm not surprised. That's really it. Now, how do y'all feel about Cassie?
I was going to ask you guys.
With all this.
I think potential victims might have some intrepidation now when speaking up. Like, right, think about it like this. Salute to the jury, salute to everybody involved, all lawyers. But Puff is probably one of the richest people culturally in our space. He was a billionaire. He still is probably, right? Now, if you're a victim, if you're somebody that's going through something tumultuous, I can imagine this to be pretty difficult to speak up now, right? And again, I know the lines get blurred. I know he was charged with certain things, right? But just to be a victim and knowing that, yo, if Puff got off, a nigga worth $100 million, I don't know if I should really say something. Something to think about.
Diddy's also still facing another lawsuit, but in terms of just like blackmail and
he's gonna have a lot of civil suits.
Yeah, there's a lot left in this process, so it doesn't. So for anyone who's watching now, so there's a shout out to every single one of you that's watching live, and who's watching later.
What up, y'all?
But there's still so many more pieces, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure by today, or at least by the end of the week, they have to still figure out his bail. Right? They still have to sentence him.
I'm glad you said that. This is a statement from Diddy's attorney. Mark Agnifilio has requested that the court release him from federal detention where he's been held for nearly a year. Agnifilio proposed that Puff should be allowed to return to his home in Miami under specific conditions and offered $1 million bond for his release. The government informed the judge that Diddy should remain in custody until sentencing. And prosecutor Maureen Comey stated that they will seek a maximum sentence of 20 years. Now, you might be questioning why it's 20 years. The prostitution charges that he was found guilty of carry a term of 10 apiece.
Yeah.
So two guilties, that's 20 years. You do the math. And that is what is occurring right now.
Well, I'm glad you read that. Thank you for reading that.
Yeah.
Because Cassie's lawyer has a response now. I don't know if it's a response to that, but she did, and her team did respond to the fact that there is a large possibility that Diddy will be home soon.
Wow.
And so this is a statement written from Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor. Dear Judge, we write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura, Miss Ventura, to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions under 18 USC 2421. Pursuant to be the Bail Reform Act 18 USC, detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges, and Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted. So, they are very active. Both of their teams are very active. Of
course.
Diddy's people speaking out immediately. Cassie's people speaking it out immediately. While we recording exclusive.
Whoa.
We have a really dope podcast coming next week with a really, really dope guest. I cannot wait for you to see it.
Word.
If you follow us on social media, you may see who that is a little bit ahead of time. But while we were recording with our guest, I was looking up for my notes on my phone, and I came across a post from Dawn Richards. Now, Dawn, who testified in this case, at the time, I don't know if y'all remember, but a lot of people were saying, hey, she didn't go as hard as we would have thought, right? She gave her testimonies, but it kind of sounded like it could almost work in Diddy's favor because of the things that she was saying. Well, now that he's all the charges have been read and released, she's saying, hey, I'm going to double down on this.
Yeah.
And I want him to be back in jail.
Yeah.
He is an evil person. This is not justice, right? And so for somebody like that who is not anonymous, like the Jane Does that were in this case, Cassie is afraid for them. I'm sure maybe somebody like a Kid Cudi who's been very visible or who had his week when it was all focused on Kid Cudi and his testimony. And because we didn't see inside the courtroom, we all using our imagination and playing out how intimate the setting really was.
And them sketches.
But if you really think about it, and the sketches do give a really great picture, but if you really think about it, in a courtroom, have you ever been to court for anything? Whether it just be a traffic ticket, whatever, I don't know, fucking child support, some shit.
Absolutely.
Well, y'all niggas got babies.
Nah, not me.
Cool.
I know of.
Yeah, so you ain't been there. But
Yeah.
if you ever been to court is pretty intimate. Right, and the judge is there, and whoever the police officer that stopped you for the speeding ticket is there, and you're right there. So I could imagine it was a lot of tension and it was intense with Diddy,
Right.
you know, being the defendant and people trying to, you know, prosecute him for some of these alleged crimes.
Yeah, man, it's it's very shocking. Like we spoke to him having a bunch of lawyers on this case. Shout out to Brian Steele. Brian Steele was the one who helped Young Thug get out of his jam. Again, we know Brian Steele wasn't Puff's primary lawyer, but he obviously helped him do something here. And I don't know, for hip hop, this is a big day. This is definitely a big day for us in hip hop because again, I'm really hell bent on the other people who have probably done this, but maybe didn't push Viaggio's buttons. Right? There's a lot of people that subscribe to that. Okay, cool. Another thing I'm seeing is I'm seeing a little bit of OJ case in this.
Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah, I'm seeing a little
You
bit
think
of
it's split like that?
What? Yeah.
Just in terms of the support that Puff has been receiving.
Yeah, break that down for me, please.
Yeah, like, well, OJ and his lawyers were brilliant in what they did, right? Their whole thing was to turn a potential murder into what you're doing to a black man.
The glove don't fit, you can't acquit.
Yeah.
The glove don't fit.
You must acquit.
Oh, you must
And
acquit,
there is a lot of black people who are subscribing to the theory of, yo, this happened to him because he was such a prominent black figure, right? So when I say OJ, I just mean in terms of the race card a bit. You know, like, hey, this is happening to a black man and we don't like that. We're going to support him and help him. Even if we don't like the nasty shit he might have done publicly to our people, we're not going to support that.
So, you had something you wanted to say? Because it always gets tricky when we try to bring that narrative into play.
No narrative.
Right?
I
no,
spoke
not
clearly.
you. Not you.
Oh,
I'm not saying it's you. But the race card.
Yeah.
Right? It's an easy card for us to lean on at certain times, especially with something like this. Like, no, he's a piece of shit. Like, he's been a piece of shit.
Yeah, no,
and nobody's perfect. Facts. But I do want to also, you know, Cassie's mom was in the court. Cassie's mom testified about, you know, her alleged blackmail situations and, hey, he wants $20,000, so I have to go take a loan out against my name, against my mortgage. Well, however, she had to get $20,000 to send to him, and he sent it back. Like, we uncovered a lot, and it said a lot about the character to just who he was, right? So that's why I'm very careful with just trying to say, oh, he's free, cool, fuck it, right? Like, it's telling me, and you guys know, I love Ray J. That's my guy. Shout out to Ray J.
Yo, Ray, what up?
But Ray, he's looking a little like, I'm like, just like, all right, man, like, what do you stand for, right? And that's really going to be the reoccurring question for me.
What's our responsibility in being part of the hip hop community when it comes to this? Like, okay, they laid out the verdict. He might still be able to get some stuff off too, by the way, right? Because he served some time.
Yeah.
So it gives him a little bit of a chance.
They could give him time served.
That $1 million bill is going to be absolutely nothing to him. You'll get it somewhere. But now, how do we react? What does that mean? How do we protect women in this space when it comes to something like that?
I think we have to continue to listen to victims. That's why I'm a little bit scared about. Again, I don't want anybody to go to jail, but if you deserve it, go. But if we don't continue to listen to people or victims, then these types of cases we won't hear about again because they're just going to keep it to themselves, right? Like, the reason why I even mentioned the OJ thing is we just seen a clip, and I'm going to play it in a second, of people celebrating outside of the courthouse, very reminiscent to the story of OJ that I watched on FX, while they doused baby oil on each other.
That's insane.
Like, just think about that for a second.
Freaky.
Just on the street.
Nah, and
it's hot outside.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's a freak off. That's a block freak off.
That is a block freak off.
That's a block freak off. They're doing that outside, and you're thinking about the mindset between some of these people as to where you're like, all right, cool. You wanted this dude to be free. That's one thing.
Yeah, you wasn't going to jail though.
You wasn't going to. Yeah, so you being this performative, it just speaks to how seriously maybe certain people just took the case.
But what I will say too, before you play that clip, what really blurred the lines with this situation is when he got locked up, when he was originally arrested, and we saw the SWATs and the raids in this location and that location, like, they made it to be like he was this mastermind kingpin, like a Rico, you know what I'm saying? Like this criminal enterprise. So going into it, everybody's looking at it like, holy shit, we about to uncover Earth, right? This is a Rico. Yeah. But it turned out to just be a Frico.
No bullshit.
Oh my.
It's true. They weren't able to properly prove the Rico.
That's like,
and where the co-defendants? Now, this is a good point. Where were the co-defendants that were supposed to prove a Rico case, right?
A Frico is funny.
It's blurred. It's blurred the lines. And I think that's really the issue. So it's tough. Back to your question, what do we do as the hip hop community? Like, it's hard to necessarily, no, It's not hard. Accountability should be held. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's not that. I see what you did there, baby. Rico, hard. Yeah.
Rico is great.
Yeah,
and that's what this was, right? Like, had we gone into it saying, "Yo, there may be potentially some sex crimes, some abuse crimes, like some domestic violence was on full display, right?"
Oh, yeah.
But when he got locked up, when they was raiding his fucking house, like, think of that was military style. You like
no
that
bullshit.
wasn't, hey, he's just been doing some bad neighborhood crimes.
No, yeah, this is
this was a real thing when he got locked up, right? And so to see how it went from that extreme to now where we are today, where it's like, oh wait, he might have the potential to walk kind of free, like it's very weird.
And that's the true fear, right? It's like, what is he gonna do? He doesn't have to be there, by the way, to let things happen. He'll get that guy who knows that guy that knows that other guy that knows that girl who knows that they, them, that knows that guy to do that thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's really that. It can be like that. And he has the money to do that.
He does. And before I play this clip, it really just goes to show how well the defense did to prove to the jury that, yo, whatever the prosecution is saying, we don't believe it to be that. Because I'm sure the jury has seen the Cassie footage the same way we saw it, and they were still able to be like, you know what, I don't deem this as sex trafficking, more so prostitution. Let me play this clip of y'all, these motherfuckers outside, man. You won't believe these niggas. Look.
Proper and etiquette that is happening inside of a courtroom. No, instead, I kid you not, people are pouring baby oil on one another outside this courthouse. Baby oil having a very big play in the freak-offs we heard about. You have people saying it's not Rico, it's Frico. You got applause.
That's crazy.
When the mother of Sean Diddy Combs, Miss Janice, got out of the vehicle just a few moments ago, really, behind us and walked inside to elated cheers and her greeting the crowd. Every time the family, the children, the 6 adult children come in, 3 boys and 3 girls, they are met by cheers, and also at times throughout the course of trial, met by scathing and disrespectful.
So you fresh out, motherfuckers is cheering you on like it's your concert.
They was dousing him in baby oil like he won a championship in champagne.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like, that's what they do.
Like it was a championship.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy.
You know, and it's crazy, it's unfortunate, but you know, there's always jokes to be made, of course.
Yeah, we have no chill in society.
But you want to know what I don't like too? I don't know if it's social media that did this. We're not able to separate things, right? So now when people see this win, they're not going to take into effect that he still was an abuser. All things that his defense said. I think that's a
great point, actually.
I think that's what his defense did a really good job of.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, he's a piece of shit, y'all.
They started out the case. Day one was, all right, listen, nigga, we know what you're seeing.
Out the gate.
Yeah.
He whooped some ass.
Yo, he's a domestic abuser. However, we don't deem him to be a sex trafficker. It now puts the jury in another mindset of sorts where you're like, okay, cool. You kind of, what's the word?
Disarmed.
There you go. You disarmed me a little bit with just being honest. And now I'm actually going to think about the facts that are presented in the exhibits that are presented. So
I think one of the best things that happened throughout this case for Diddy was that he didn't speak.
Yeah.
When it was his time or when he had the opportunity to say whatever he did, his team must have advised him, hey, don't say anything.
Here's the script.
Here's the script.
Read this.
Just that's it. So, yeah, I think it's fascinating. I hope there was some type of reform throughout this process for him, and I hope, you know, Cassie or whoever was a victim got some type of relief, some type of comfort, and just seeing him go through this process, right?
No way.
Not enough.
No?
I think you could go through all that. And in fact, I feel like that more so damaged them even more so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly like that. I think it was definitely a slap in the face. I think they had to deal there was more damage dealt to them on top of it, because now there's just more of a public outcry, because as much as there'll be supporters of Cassie and anybody else there, they'll be the ones that will be the antagonizers and add on to it even more so. And that being said, with the fact that he's just not guilty on all counts, it don't matter. I don't think it would matter to them at all. I think it hurts like bad, and it's just gonna keep on hurting forever.
Yeah, if I'm Cassie, I'm tight. Hey, I dealt with this in civil court, right? I got my $10 million from the hotel. I got my $20 million from Puff. I was doing my thing over here. Because this turned into a federal case, the prosecution and their team called me in. I became the main witness. My family learned things about me that they probably didn't know about.
Right.
My
Even
friends
like that,
learned things about me that
crazy.
I'm pregnant on the stand. I'm finna have a baby in a week.
The stress that you put on that child.
Dog, I'm finna have a baby in a week. But before I have the baby, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna take the stand, and I'm gonna tap into some dark shit that I probably don't want to talk about. If I'm her, I'm tight. Damn, why y'all pull me into it? If y'all wasn't gonna make such a strong case. I already won in civil court.
Yeah.
You know, I was just gonna take the money and do my thing.
This is not over.
That's a valid point. And to your point, Eddin, I don't know if
this is not over.
Yeah.
Appellate court.
There's still. I mean, Cassie still has has her case that she's doing, and the other person too.
Jane Doe.
Yeah. And Don Richard.
Yeah. You think he's gonna employ the Punisher again?
Employ the Punisher?
You talking about again? So you think he's gonna go back to Fricos?
Oh, for you don't think he's about to freak off?
That's bad.
You don't think he's about to go freak off like right as soon as he gets? Bro, they are gonna come up with a whole new STD after that freak off.
Alex,
he is. You know how
it should not stop.
You know how COVID just came out of nowhere. Niggas like, oh shit, world stop. What the fuck is some new shit? When that nigga start freaking off, what? When you open the bedroom, you gonna need a mask.
He don't even know how to fuck no other way now.
Bro, he cannot wait.
You know what I'm gonna say, right?
What you gonna say?
It's bad boy, baby. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. And that is just, not gonna lie, tainted for me forever and ever and ever. Tainted.
He's probably
I listened to a
himself.
Mace song recently. I love Welcome Back by Mace.
Yeah.
Heard that song. Diddy's in the middle of it. It's like, gotta take this off.
Yeah,
I can't. Just,
yeah.
Damn, man. So he goes back to the Fricos.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he only did 9 months time served, not even 12 months.
Bro, he was freaking off for days at a time when he was out.
He was freaking off when he got picked up.
Nigga, the only time I needed an IV was when I had my intestine removed, nigga. You know how much fucking you gotta do to need an IV after a freak off?
Does it get private maybe? Is it NDAs now?
I think it's probably was NDAs. I know some of the people.
I'm sure some people breached it.
Yeah,
I'm about to say that was a terrible NDA.
Well, when the feds come, the NDAs don't matter. They're null and void. So when the feds come, it doesn't really matter. Those NDAs protect, the private entities. But what I will say about his probably sexual escapades is now he'll just be more mindful. Maybe he'll do it in however you can do it in a legal way, right? Like it's consensual. Like
hire a service.
Just have consensual freak offs.
Yeah.
You know how you a super freak? There's other super freaks out there.
There's a lot of super freaks out there.
You can go find that and say, hey man, this is like what he has to do now is just living his truth. I like nut on my nipples if I'm Diddy.
Excuse me? Oh, okay.
Right? That's your bag. We know your bag.
Let him land it. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what I had to land it quick.
Yeah.
Because when it came out, I was, oh shit, hold up, nigga.
Wait, what came out?
If I'm Diddy. Oh, shit. We know what you like. We know what you into, Playboy. Live in that.
But he's not. He's not going to live
in that.
We do know people who, obviously, shout out to Horrible and Mandy and everybody else who got the sex positive, etc. We know that that's a thing, right? But realistically, the stuff that he does isn't built for consensual consumption.
Yeah,
he wants the mischievous. He wants that power.
The power dynamic.
Boom.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have a power dynamics exist in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a whole different level where it's discouraging and not in a good way.
Fam.
Like it's to fuck people up.
No more back page, Puff. Okay, stop going on Jamaica Ave and finding 6'5" nigga. Like, you're gonna have to go find a service now. Cause I actually agree with SaVon and Eddin. I don't know for real. That nigga was going up to Fordham Road. Like, yo, who be fucking? Yo, you can't. Like when we figured out the people who were involved, sex workers though.
That doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise you?
No.
Why didn't it surprise you? As a billionaire. Just in terms of the approach.
Even more so.
Break it down for me.
Entertainment is freaky.
I know it's freaky, but my thing is
I know y'all heard of freaky shit.
Yes, but don't you want
to gotta be that crazy?
But don't you want to continue the freaky shit?
Oh, he's gonna continue the freaky shit.
That's what I'm saying. So wouldn't you go get the escort service?
He was.
He was.
No, this ain't. This back page.
And he was also trying to make his own escort service.
That's the problem. I'm talking about go find a madame.
A madame.
Okay? Go find a madam.
Yeah.
With a house.
Yeah, nah.
And everybody know what's going on.
That's not he doesn't, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he don't want the clean version. Even the freaky clean version, he don't want the freaky clean version.
Got you.
He wants the power
dynamic. Yeah, he wants that in there.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Understand.
Because I can see that.
I get it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't know where this is gonna go. Again, there are some victims. There are a lot of victims in this case. So for their peace and their sanity, I'm definitely standing with them and praying for them.
Word.
And then I do want to be mindful, like the people who are supporting. Again, I fuck with Ray J, I fuck with Lil Boosie, and I know they're in a different space, they're in a different headspace. It's very disconnected from, you know what I'm saying, what reality is for a lot of people. When you see celebrities cheering when somebody else was, you know, just abused, whatever the case may be. It just asks me, like, what do we stand for? What do certain people stand for, right? Like, I don't need to necessarily see anybody like celebrating. I mean, his family, maybe his family.
We don't need that at all.
I don't even think. I think they're just celebrating selfishly. Real shit.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just tone deaf. It's disconnected from reality.
Tone deaf.
Like niggas just want to party.
Yeah,
and they want to fly people out and have someone not label it as sex trafficking. Yeah. I really think that's what's stuck in all these entertainers' minds.
Get a wife, man.
Get you a wife.
That's not enough.
Get a wife. Stay home. Be a family man. Like, there's a playbook. There's a way to go about it. Hov is showing everybody what to do.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that, you get the wife and we good.
Right. Or be like Nas and nobody know.
We're live.
I know.
We're live, buddy.
I know.
Okay, we ain't cutting.
You about to say some shit?
I see Eddin's wheels turning.
Eddin.
No.
Be careful.
Yeah. So
Lemonade was a great album.
It was
amazing.
Phenomenal.
You know what I'm saying?
Lemonade came in.
Was influenced by a lot of things.
Wasn't it? But
inspired by Trivens, as they say right before the documentary, right?
You know what I'm saying?
By.
So that's all I want to say.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know, man. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Sure. And thank y'all for rocking with us. I don't know how many people are here. Do we have a count on how many people? Is it over 10? We got 0.
Oh.
No, we ended it. No,
we ended it.
We ended the live. All right. Well, shout out to the people who were live with us.
Wait, why we end the live?
We probably had some technical difficulties.
He's gonna let us know. Yeah.
Nah, Kieran got tight.
He probably got
yo, fuck this live.
Fuck this live. Why y'all want to do this live shit now? They want to go live now?
Fuck it, man. Need to Know podcast. We'll be back again next week. Again, we got a really dope episode. Eddin, thank you for stopping in really, really quick.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I came out of my house just to talk about this Diddy stuff.
Hey, man. When I heard Diddy, I know you like to party too.
Damn,
right?
you
call that you're a DJ.
Hey, you know you a DJ, Playboy.
That's not a good correlation.
It's a correlation there, though.
That's a crazy correlation.
Hey,
you like to party.
It be DJs at parties, right?
He probably did have a DJ at those parties.
You know he
like
did.
the party.
Yeah. One of my mans DJ'd over there. Anyway. Later, y'all.